Well, hello, everybody. My name is Samantha Connor, and I'm so excited to be here on behalf of ANDMORE and the Boutique Hub and talking to you about all things trade shows today. We were just talking about how it's only March, but there have been so many shows this year so far. So, probably like a lot of you, this may be your fifth or sixth show for 2025, and we're not even through Q1 yet, which is just amazing to me. But I'm coming here to share some of the information that I have from my trade show travels because I know we all go to different shows. My role with the Boutique Hub is I'm the director of wholesale, which means that I oversee the markets program and then I work with hundreds of brands and help them find best fit buyers. So, what I'm coming to you today with is feedback from, I think I touched hands with 1,000 retailers between January and February, and coming to share some of their stories, and then things that I've seen work with other wholesale brands and success that they've had. So I'm hoping that this is a really impactful 30 to 40 minutes of your time. If you have questions, please ask. But at the heart of all of this and in what and more supports is education to bring together people to do business. And so that's really the focus for today. So I'm going to share my screen. I do have a slideshow for you that includes some QR codes and resources, and I want to make sure you have all those. The most important thing really when we think about business is it's ever changing, and so we never stop learning. So that's really what today is about, is learning how we can do things better and how we can do them together. And I just really appreciate ANDMORE for giving me the opportunity to bring this to you. Like I said, I work with a lot of trade shows, and I have not met another market that actively says, "Hey, how can you help our brands?" Come in and talk to them. So I really appreciate that. Today, we're going to be talking about trade show success and the strategies really for mastering a trade show. And one of my favorite quotes was from a guy named Ryan. He works for Mia Shoes, and he says, "Great trade shows don't happen by accident." And that surely is the truth. And so today is going to be part of that preparation to set you on the path to have a great trade show. So here's a little background on me. My name's Samantha Connor. I'm based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 10 years of sales experience, and then I've been with the Boutique Hub for over 4 years now. And like I said, communication and connecting brands and buyers is what I'm passionate about. Before I got into the market world, I do have a degree in education. And so I always think that ends up shining through a little bit in my role now of how can we connect people and help them learn so they can be successful in their business. If you're not familiar with the Boutique Hub, definitely, when this is over, get on Instagram and find us. Go find our podcast. The company's been around for almost 12 years. It was founded by Ashley Alderson, and the whole idea of the Boutique Hub is community over competition. So, how can we bring the independent retail space together to do business in a powerful way? And part of the offerings for the Boutique Hub, specifically for brands, is education, similar to what I'm doing today with you, resources, handbooks, different materials that you can use to learn and grow. And then the thing that you're probably most interested in is how can I meet more customers and how can I make more sales? And so we provide an opportunity for you to connect with our community of 8,000 plus retailers. And then we also have different aspects for you to share your products and sell your products. And that's why it's so important for us to partner with ANDMORE, is to be there on the show floor, to meet those retailers and to tell them about you and to support you while you're at the show. So these are a few of the things that we offer. I do have a QR code here if you're interested in learning more about the Boutique Hub, or you can reach out to us on Instagram or on social media, and we'll be sure to follow up. So, a little plan for where we're headed today. As we look at 2025, like I said, we're almost through Q1. We've had some trade shows under our belt. We're seeing things that work, seeing things that don't work. And a big part of what we're going to talk about today is beyond being a product-based business and selling something to a retailer, you are really in the business of time and attention. And there's a lot of things that are grabbing and fighting for the time and attention of the retailers that we're seeking out. So we have to have a really good plan in place to get in contact with them. And I know that you guys have already booked your booth, you've got your hotel or your Airbnb, the flights scheduled. Most of you got your line sheets and everything already too. But we want to make sure that we are hitting all of the other pre-show must-dos. And then taking time to do the things we need to do at the show, and then finally the follow up. But the pre-show, I heard a stat the other day that said 70% of your success at the trade show is going to happen in the days and the months leading up to the trade show. So when we think about that, that's going to make this first section really powerful. So let's jump into that on how we are going to make that pre-show plan strong. And you can kind of tell I went with a garden theme. So it's spring. So we're going to be gathering, nurturing, and growing. And that I think that will help paint the picture for what we're going to be doing. A few tools that I'm going to be referencing while we're on this call is some of the tools that we have inside the Boutique Hub. We have a whole section of things just for wholesale brands like you. And so a lot of times people hear the Boutique Hub, they think that we're just talking to retailers, and we are talking to wholesale brands. And we have some wholesale courses that really help make sure that you are up to speed. Today, the book that I'm going to be referencing the most is the Wholesale Marketing Handbook. But another good one is that Trade Show Marketing Handbook as well. And then if you're not familiar with our Boutique Hub Planner, this is where we put everything. So all those ideas and marketing ideas, we track them in the Boutique Hub Planner. And this planner we've been making for years. It does work for retailers and wholesalers. I actually took it to the ANDMORE Winter Market in Vegas, and I had met some designers and some people that sold furniture, and they were interested in getting it and got it and used it. And I've heard great reviews from that as well. So both of these would be good tools to have in your market preparation toolkit. All right, so now let's think back to our idea of our spring theme, and that 70% of our success is going to depend on what we're doing in the beginning stages. So it might be cold where you are, and so when we think about that, we're getting our garden ready. And what we want to do is really working our system. So in order to have success with leads, we can't just walk in the door building three in Atlanta and say, okay, bring me all the customers, I'm ready. We can go and set up the booth and we can be there and we can be ready, but we need to make sure that we've prepped that pipeline, that we've got people that are going to be coming to see us. And so what I like to do is go ahead and get some of those leads gathered ahead of time. So the way that we can do that is you can gather leads from previous markets that you've attended. On your website, I do recommend highly having a way to grab an email address. So you got some leads that way. You can also dig in and do a little bit of research. So what are other brands that are also in your space? Complementary brands. So I think about, if you're selling denim, who has blouses that would pair with your denim, footwear, jewelry. If you're a home and gift, there's also those complementary brands. So kind of imagine how a retailer would merchandise your product in a store, and think who those brands are. And reach out to those brands in the spirit of community over competition. Reach out to those brands, take a look at their website, see who their stockists are, who carries their products, because that could be a potential customer for you. So all of these leads that we're gathering, we're doing in the form of email. Also look at dream stores. And I know everybody has a dream store if you are a wholesale brand of, oh, if so and so would carry me, that's my dream store. That would really make me. I would feel like I had finally made it. So don't set your bar too low. Look high as well. And then reach out to your network. So if you're in the Boutique Hub, you've got 8,000 retailers there. I know a lot of you are parts of different associations. And then your Chamber of Commerce. And then also look at that and more exhibitor list. What other brands are on there that you could reach out and network with? As you're getting your booth assignments from ANDMORE, look on the floor map. Who else is going to be around you? Those are going to be your neighbor brands. Those are good people to reach out ahead of time and say, how can we collaborate together? And then also seeing if they're willing to share the names of the retailers that they've made appointments with already. And you guys could do a swap that way. So we really want to build a really strong leads list, which consists of those retailers' names and their email addresses. A few other ways to get leads is a giveaway. So you've probably seen these done, on Instagram or social media, and that giveaway could either be a physical product or knowledge. And I want to really call out knowledge because you know a lot more than you think you know. So the things that you've seen in your business as far as what products do well, how to merchandise products, how to get a great sell through, in-store event ideas, You guys know all those and you have connections with so many retailers. So take that and put that into either, a download or maybe a small clip of like a 5 minute, here's my best tips, and get a trade, right? They'll give you their email address. You share the knowledge with them. Product giveaways are pretty self-explanatory. The collaboration is what I mentioned as far as reaching out to your brand neighbors at ANDMORE. And then all of these things, once we have all of these emails, we can take all of this data. And if you guys are ready, we can run some paid ads, right? So those paid ads from the wholesale side to retailers really do work if you've got a good pixel. And your pixel really is your contacts. And so these are all different strategies to really reach out to other people and get those leads all gathered. There's two things that I wanted to make a differentiation between when it comes to marketing. So we talked about lead generation, and that's grabbing those emails, getting those contact information. But really, before that also comes the demand generation. And so, how are we driving excitement for our brand so they land on us and they want to give us their email address? And so, we're going to cover that today and kind of that pre-show marketing as far as what are the things you can do to create demand for your brand before you even show up. So we've got the leads, we've got the emails, but how can we create that excitement and demand for them to come see us? Because although we have their email address, that is not going to be enough. That will simply not be enough. That just gives us an opportunity to communicate with them, but we need to create some demand too. So let's look into that. Okay, so that demand, and I'm going to go back there actually because I want to talk a little bit more about that. That demand aspect of how do I create excitement can be done in a couple ways. We've got their email address, like I said. So now how are we going to want them? How are they going to feel the excitement for the brand, the things that you're selling? And that comes through the story that you're going to tell through social media and email. And before the show even starts, doing sneak peeks, market specials, new product releases, and then a lot of behind the scenes footage. So show all of those things before you even get to Atlanta. So that breaks down to am I boxing product up? Am I packing my suitcase? Am I doing sneak peeks? Do all of those things to create the demand and then send those to your leads. So when you show up and you walk into building 2 or 3, there are people that are excited to come see you. And then that's where we're going to hit here is at the show. So how are we going to nurture those leads? Gathered all that information. We've got them excited. We're coming, we're coming, we're coming. This is what you can buy. And now they're here at the show. And what do we do next? There's, 14 floors, 15 floors. We've got a lot of room to cover in the building. How are we going to make sure we connect with them once they're at the show? So I'm old school in the way of I like to pick up the phone. If you have customers that don't mind being called and because they've given you their phone number, a phone call to set an appointment before the show and then remind them day of the show, hey, you're coming to see us. I want to see you, reminder emails, text messages, and the whole idea of we're going to create a memory with the experience they have with us at the show and not focus as much on the sale, right? We just need them to come talk to us. If they can come and talk to us, we know we can close it. We just got to get them to us. So we've got those leads. We've created the demand and excitement. At the show, we're reminding them because they get inside the building and there's a lot of shiny things and they're going to see a lot of different things and attention is going to be pulled in different directions. And we know we're in the business of time and attention. So we've got to capture that and remind constantly and really focus on when they come see you, what is that feeling going to be? Have we built it up and they're expecting something amazing and then they get to the booth and it's what do you want? Or is it somebody sitting there flipping on their phone and not acknowledging them? We don't want that kind of experience. We want it to feel just like what it was that you've built up. You've done all that work to gather those leads, plant those seeds, and now they're popping out of the ground. We want to make sure we're taking care of them. Other fun things that you can do once you're at the show to create those memories, like we said, we're creating a memory on top of a sale, is incentives. And so these are the things that you would put in the email or in the text or in the phone call, in your social posts that are going to really drive that demand generation. We think about we've got the leads. How are we going to create the demand for the product? And things that I've seen work really well with different brands are that early access, first in line. Another is a gift with purchase. I know I saw some of my favorite showrooms on this call, and they do, if you book an appointment, you get a goodie bag or you get a swag bag. And so that would be like a gift with purchase or a gift with appointment. Exclusive product launches. Things that are also fun are different social media graphics that you can share with them to reuse later. So those kind of freebie things. Bundling products together is amazing. It's great if they buy one thing, but even better if they buy five. So let's make it easy for them. Hosting any kind of party or networking event, if it's a happy hour or like a power hour where they'll come by and see you and there's going to be some kind of discount, a loyalty discount for people that have come and shopped with you before, and then of course having things to give them. In our digital world, we sometimes forget that people do like to hold and touch. And although I don't recommend, a J.C. Penney thick catalog, something they can take with them that's going to keep you top of mind. We have to remember that when they go into those buildings, like I said, time and attention is the commodity that we're fighting for, and they're going to see a lot of things, and it's all going to start to blur into one big memory. And so we have to do things that will keep them interested and keep their attention focused on you and your brand. In the boutique hub, we have multiple Facebook communities. And so the retailers will share information and insights, ask questions, and the brands as well. And aftermarket, it never fails for some of our retailers to post photos they took at market and say, "Do you know who this is? Which brand was this? Do you remember who this is?" Because they forget. And so we coach them to do simple things like when they walk into your booth, take a photo of your booth and booth number, and then shoot the product that they're wanting to buy. And then we say, take a picture of the floor because that kind of adds a space in their camera reel, and then go to the next booth. And that's something that you could share too with retailers of, hey, I've got a tip for you to managing this market craziness. This is something I see people do. But for you guys, just being aware of the fact that they are consuming all of this and then they're getting home and not remembering who was who and what was what really, I think, changes your perspective on what you're putting in their hands or what you're giving them. How can you make sure that they understand what you had and where to find you to place that order? This, I think we can all definitely relate to. A river cuts through a rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. And I saw this online. I said, these are my wholesale friends. They are showing up time and time and time again. And how are they successful? Why are they successful? Is because of persistence. And that's really what this presentation is about, is being persistent and constantly gathering emails, gathering leads, taking care of them, reminding them, touching base with them all the time. Here's the things we have to offer, following through. And that's how we're really going to make, those big changes. Any of those brands that you see at market that are doing really well, that are really successful, it did not happen by accident. Like we said, a great trade show doesn't happen by accident. It's because of planning and preparation and showing up time and time again. And that's what you guys are doing. All right. Along that whole line of growing those customers, we're nurturing, growing, we're kind of in that stage now, is that information that you're getting, you got them to your booth or you got them to your showroom, and then we have to really go into more. We've got to get deeper. So we passed the first hurdle. We've got them to show up. They're there, but now we've really got to reinforce their trust and confidence in us. So a few things that I always like to do as a test for my team is as we're heading into market is asking them, why should they buy from us? If someone comes into our showroom, why should they buy our planner or why should they sign up for a boutique hub membership? And, we think we know those things, but sometimes verbally saying them and practicing them has so much power, especially if you are reliant on temporary staff, which a lot of people are during markets. How are they representing your brand? Do they know how to articulate that verbally? And that comes down to, yeah, what is the position in the market? We are the largest, we are the biggest, we are the smallest, we are the best, we are the most unique. What makes you different from everybody else? What is that promise that customers have that they know will come through when they purchase from you? What is your tagline? Is it, like we said, the, most trusted apparel brand in the US, manufactured in Texas. What is your promise that you're making to them? And then don't be afraid to show a little personality, and that comes through with telling your brand story. Like we said, there's so many things for them to see and hear at market, and a personal story really resonates. If you guys have seen recently, there's two brands that I know that are in the boutique hub. One is Lenny Co., who's a jewelry company, and she was featured on Good Morning America last week. And what I noticed when she got on Morning America, it was they were highlighting independent female-owned businesses. Was that she really let her personality shine through? She owned that, she's a Southern girl and she had her cowboy boots on, was telling about how she made the jewelry and why it was important to her and what her team was like. People buy from people, and you need to make sure that you're taking that time at market to share that brand story. Yes, I know the retailers don't have a lot of time to shop, and yes, we know their time at market is precious and it's thin, but at the same time, they are wanting to connect. That's why they showed up in person, is to make that connection, to touch and feel the product and to hear from you. So don't be afraid to share that, to let your personality come through, because that will be something they remember. If you tell them a great story about where you're from and how your company was founded, you are not going to end up in our Facebook group when someone says, where was this from? They'll know exactly where that came from. So as you build that relationship into this, which is, like we said, sales are relational. Another thing that I like to look at is reducing friction. I'd be interested to know how many of you read the book Fans First. And if you've talked to me before, you're probably kind of saying, "Oh no, here she goes on Fans First again." I've talked to everybody about it, but it's because it's that good of a book. It's written by Jesse Cole. If you've heard of the Savannah Bananas, the baseball team, you might be familiar with this. But in Fans First, it talks about creating fans out of everybody that you meet. And so when you think about customers, or you think about even people you work with or your own family, how can you make them a fan of who you are and what you do? And I apply this to business and to sales in a lot of things they talk about in Fans First is reducing friction, making relationships easy, making sales easy. And so if you think about coming to your booth, is it easy to do business with you? Is it, just so simple, so pleasurable? And so the ways that you can reduce friction and making business easy with your brand is looking at the information that a customer would need to know before they place the order. So is it very clear to them how much the opening order is, when they can expect it, if a deposit is required, if they want to reorder, because great, they sold through and they need more, what does that look like? Do you have a whole policy laid out too on if there's trouble with the order? Because we all know that no matter our best intentions, there's going to be some things that sometimes are shipped out and they're not 100% correct. And so, what would a customer do in that case? And then territory protection. What does that look like? If you're in a showroom, I can give you some really good feedback from our retailers, and some of them say that they feel friction when they go to a showroom if there's a gatekeeper. So I know you guys are, probably familiar with that traditional model of someone sitting behind a table and, do you have an appointment? And that kind of scares the retailers. So that would be a friction point that you could reduce by, either moving the table to the side and having a greeter. Someone standing there instead of the gatekeeper. Say, welcome to our showroom. We're so happy to have you here. Let me get you checked in. You don't have an appointment? No problem. We can work you in. Tell me about your store, and just starting that conversation. If you're in a booth, things that they'll want to know right away is things like pricing and shipping and all of these details that I've included here. Sometimes it feels a little cumbersome if they have to go find someone to ask all of these questions. So what kind of signage can you have? How can you train your staff so that there's no friction points? It's just super easy. All right. The next part is we've got them there. Hopefully, we reduce the friction. They're picking up things, they're talking, they're excited, they really want to buy, we think. But now we're in that sales process. And something that I've noticed is, especially brands where you're an independent brand, you're the creative. you've made the product. It's, from your heart, whether you designed, the apparel or it's maybe a candle or home goods product, and you're actually the maker. And now, large scale wise, you've got someone that's manufacturing it for you, but it's your business. And so sometimes that selling can feel a little bit uncomfortable because you feel like you're just pushing your own self out there. I always say it's easier to sell someone else's product, but if you're selling someone else's product or you are selling your own, you've got to really break down on how to make that sale. And this is really taking us all the way through all of trade show success. How do we get them there? We got them there. How do we make it fun? And now the main thing is we got to make some money. I have a friend that says we're not here to make friends, and I laugh because I'm like, well, you and I met at a trade show. So you are here to make friends, but also we are here to make sales. And so just kind of breaking down what those conversations with customers look like. You may have people on your team that do this naturally. And so you would never even have to share this with them because they're born salespeople. But a lot of people are not born salespeople and they do need some training. And there's nothing wrong with learning a new skill and to explicitly lay out the steps and have them practice. And that person could be you. It could be you that needs a little bit of that. And so, starting conversations of how can I help you? Tell me about your store. What do you sell right now? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What's your top products? What was your Q1 like? Just opening the door to let them speak. One thing that I've noticed is that when I let them talk, I don't have to talk as much, which is great, but also it makes them feel better. They want to talk and they want to tell you their story about, their retail location and how they need help and how they're hoping your brand and your products can help them. So definitely shine the spotlight on them and give them the moment to share. And by doing that, that will also reveal to you the products that they're going to need. Because there's nothing worse than walking in and having someone rattle off every single thing they have, and the retailer kind of goes fuzzy and blind in the eyes, and they don't take any of that information in. So letting them talk is that exploratory discovery part. And then, like I said here, the implication is your product is not just something they're buying, it's solving a problem for them. And so what could that problem be? Are they looking for more things to put on their cash wrap? Do they need gifty items? They're looking for products to bundle. Do they really need some great jeans? Maybe the denim is something they're lacking, but all those things you can discover through those conversations. And once they lay that out, and then you have the product and the gentle suggestion offering as a solution, then that's paying off for them as that need, and it really sells itself. So definitely take some time to think about the sales strategy and process. And if you feel like this is an area that your team is lacking, definitely break it down and do a lot of role play because that's what is going to lead to success with that. And if it's you, that's okay. Sometimes it's our own selves that need the training or the refresher, and make sure you take time to do that because that's really important. After you close the order, close the deal, close the sale, market's getting ready to close down, right? We've done all the pre-work. We're at market. It's the last days of market. You're getting those orders written. Something important to keep in mind is that the first 48 hours after your sale are the most important. Because what immediately happens sometimes, I'd say most of the time, after spending money or writing an order, there is an opportunity window for regret. And as a consumer, you were probably aware of this. If you went and bought the expensive shoes or got the handbag or the dress, there's always that little window where you could immediately say, I don't know if I should have gotten that. I don't know. I don't know. And our retailers are feeling this too. And so what we've got to do is automatically and immediately reassure them that they made the right decision. And so the way that we can do that is first of all, set up some emails, get some automated emails going so that that pulls the pressure off of you, especially if it's midweek or towards the end of the week of the show and you're trying to do multiple things. Get some automatic emails going. They place the order. Oh, welcome to our family. Here's a copy of your order. I'll be, in touch with more information soon. And then the next, these are the products you ordered. These are going to do so great in your store. I'm so excited for you. You're going to love these. Here's some things you can share with your staff to help you sell them. And this is a really interesting point is at market, you're spending a lot of time with a retailer selling them the product and communicating them on all its benefits. And then the product is shipped to the store. And then guess who sees the product in the store and is responsible for selling it? The associate. And sometimes the associate could be a 16-year-old girl who's showing up to the boutique after, being at school and volleyball practice. And her boss says, steam these dresses, hang them up, and, close out the store for the day. And so she's in there and she's doing her work and putting things away. And someone comes in and is like, oh, this candle's so cool. Tell me about it. And she's like, I don't know, it's a candle. We're missing a sale opportunity there. So if you can get that information, those best selling tips about your products and put them in a digestible way through email, like maybe a little short video or talking points that the store owner can use to communicate that with her customer, with her employee, that will help that sell through happen. And so I've got a whole list of the way these all break down. Week one, week two, after the product obviously is delivered, checking in. Text messages, if you're not using automated text message system, I would highly recommend looking into that. Emails, and you guys probably know this just looking at your own phone right now. If I say how many emails do you have that are unread versus text, text have an open rate within the first 3 minutes of 98%. No email has an open rate of 98% in the first 3 minutes. I can guarantee you that. Text is where personal conversations are happening. It's where people are living, is on their phone. And so if you can find a sweet spot for the text, one, they have to give you their phone number and, agree that they'll receive text from you. And then the other is only texting when you have something really great to say. You can really open up a great communication channel with those customers and keep them in the loop, whether it's before the show, during the show, or after the show. But like I said, you do have to treat it with care because nobody likes to be spam text. And if you're sending them messages that aren't helpful or important, you're going to get obviously an unsubscribe. But a way to address this from the beginning is, when they make that order, you can say, hey, it's really easy for me to communicate on text. Are you a good texter? And if they say no, then obviously that conversation, you can go somewhere else with it. But if they say, yeah, that's easier for me too. Hey, how about you just add me to, your contacts and then we can stay in communication. And the texting then can really, if they're good with it and you're good with it, replace the email. So, oh, your order shipped, it's on its way. That's exciting. Oh, you know what? How are you doing on that order? Do you still have that product? Is it in? Let me send you a way to reorder if you need it. Or sending photos they can use on socials. That's helpful. A lot of our retailers are working through their phones to manage their Shopify, manage all of their marketing. And so if they're getting images and information on their phone via text that they can put into their marketing plan, you're really helping them. Other things aftermarket is, telling the end of the social story. So if we showed all the things of getting ready for the show, at the show, this is the end, and thanking the customers. If you have any boutiques that have taken photos with you at the show or taking photos of your products and tagged you, make sure you repost those. UGC means user generated content, and that is very rich content that ranks high in the world of algorithms on Meta. So if you can get someone else to talk about you and then you reshare it, that's huge. And then the ads as well of if you've got their information, you can add them to your pixel data and then run ads to them later. You can stay top of mind. And then another thing that I want to mention, and obviously this all came out of COVID, but it still has its place, are those virtual appointments. So if they came by your booth and chatted with you, but they didn't place an order, can you contact them after the show and set up a Zoom call? Absolutely. Do they need to add on or reorder anything? How can I show them products? And then ideas for other newsletter type or email content things would be a missed you email, extending any show specials, getting feedback. What did they think of the product? What did they think of your space at the market? And then any updates that are going on with your brand. All right. So that takes us all the way through the show. That was our whole gardening. We went from, gathering, nurturing, and then, of course, growing. And so, looking at now where we are, so we're midway through March. Our Atlanta buying week starts first week in April. And so, what are the things we can do between now and then to be successful? And one is to work that plan. gathering the leads, reaching out to them, getting those emails to them, setting appointments, calling them, letting them know you're going to be in Atlanta. Come see me. I want to see you. I want to see you here. This is an important show for you. We're going to connect. And then the plan of how is market going to be exciting once they're there. And then, of course, following up. But you're now at that point of you've got a couple weeks out and you've got enough runway to make a difference and to make this show in April your best one yet. Um, the and more team is available for any marketing or sponsorship ideas. I know I've seen them do a lot of great product placement, things in the glass box, wraps on the elevators and on the escalators. So reach out to the and more team and see whether there's anything available in April, and if not, then planning ahead for this summer to make sure that you've got some great brand visibility. Following both of our Instagram accounts, and then feel free to email. The ANDMORE team is super supportive of myself as well, if you need more ideas or more help along the way. And then to recap the tools that we talked about. So some of those marketing ideas that I mentioned, and then the layout and the cadence of the emails, the promotions to do are all inside this wholesale marketing handbook. So that would be a good one to have. And then when we went through the idea of setting up a cadence of emails and a cadence of social posts, those are great to do as long as we are also looking at the data on how successful those were. And that's why I really like to track all of that in the planner. There's a whole content creation section where you can see, where you've got those Instagram posts, your email outreach, and then what was the return on those. Because we want to take that information and then have that to compare as we run into the summer markets, and make sure that we repeat the things that worked and the things that we didn't work for us that we go ahead and pivot on, and make a new plan so we can be successful. If when you are not if you will be there when you're in Atlanta, come see our Boutique Hub showroom. We're in building 3 on the ninth floor, and we will be open all week. The founder and CEO of Boutique Hub, Ashley Alderson, is going to be in town for the April buying week. She's so excited to come to Atlanta. She'll be hosting a panel, talking about the crossover between home and gift and apparel. And if you're a Boutique Hub brand, then you can be sure that our team will bring you your Hub sign, and you'll see these all over the market. And that really shows that you're a member of the Hub of the Boutique Hub. Lets people know that you're a trusted and vetted brand. And so we're excited to partner with you guys on that, and have the support of Atlanta and to be in our showroom home there. It's so nice to have. All right. And then finally, this was, I'm saying, Alejandra, I think you're on this call. It was one of our great moments from being together in Vegas. And so if you look interested in working with the Boutique Hub, and continuing that partnership, we've got information here as well. Kim, any questions that you guys have?
Oh, no, nothing's come up. I love the spring growth metaphor. That's perfect, perfectly timed. I think we're all ready for spring and we're certainly all ready for growth. So, no questions have come up. This has been another great one, Sam. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, for sure. And we are so excited. Ashley's excited to be with you all and your team in Atlanta. And we've had so many good questions about, the offerings at market. So I know that a lot of our retailers are planning on going. They're excited to go. It's a good crossover opportunity. So if you're, since you're exhibiting in April, this is a great market to have chosen because you're going to get the best of both worlds. So you'll get those apparel buyers and those home and gift buyers delivered right to you. So we're excited.
Well, very good. Thanks. We'll do this again. And yeah, we'll see everyone in less than 3 weeks in Atlanta.
All right, we're excited. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.